Hello, knockouts. Tonya TKO here. Oh, my goodness. And as you know, I'm a self love specialist from TonyaTKO.com. I hope you learn how to love yourselves and one another. On this channel, we use viral video topics as teachable moments for what self loving or self abusing looks like in relationship. And today we're going to be talking about Makaya Bryant, the 16-year-old girl who was shot down by police in Ohio. Her sister has come forward on a Facebook Live video giving her take of what she says went down that day. And then afterwards, we're going to spend some time talking because there are many of you who have a lot of different feelings about what's going on and what happened and what has continued to happen. And I'm going to show you, we're going to read about Ohio's stand your ground law. We're also going to show some footage of another case that happened around the same time in Ohio that I want us to just dive into because I feel like as Black people, I feel like we are very hypocritical. And I feel like we are constantly and perpetually wanting to play the victim and searching for victimhood in situations where it may not be appropriate. And it's actually counterproductive. I've seen a lot and I've heard a lot since we started talking about this. There are some people who are still coming in. So before we play it, because there's going to be a lot of people who are going to come in late. So go ahead and start tagging your friends and tell them to come in. We are live right now. I am going to turn on the Cash App for you all to send Cash Apples for us to be able to get your comment during the commentary. There's 1,100 people on here and climbing between Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter Periscope. And this coming week, I'm going to have a way for you all to sign up for text notifications. So the programming on that is 1/3 complete. By this weekend, I'm hoping to have it 2/3, and then this coming week, 3/3 complete, and then you all will be able to start signing up. So that way you're never tardy to the party and you're always here on time, regardless of whether or not these platforms unsubscribe you or whatnot. If this is your first time here and you don't know who I am Tonya TKO. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I'm a certified life coach with a specialty in relationship coaching. And I also want to talk to you all about some of the pitfalls that you force vloggers into. You force vloggers into pandering to you, and it doesn't help you. I'm a self-love specialist, and I am from the ghetto. I grew up fighting, and I listen. If you want to get out of the ghetto, if you want to get out alive, because I know that there are going to be some younger people who are going to be watching this, and many of you adults are leading them astray and leading them down a path of destruction, not just melee, but devastation and destruction, and ultimately their death. And so we're going to be talking some real stuff in this video, and it's going to be, there are many different types of people who watch my videos. I'm waiting for a few more of you all. When we get up to 1,500 people, I actually, before we get to 2,000, it's like people come in late and they're like, oh, what's going on? We're at 1,400 right now. Let's see. I see a lot of you talking, and I want to talk about the narrative that many of us are pushing. Come on in. We're up to 1,400 right now. Come on in, tag your people, because I am going to be playing the video from, and I see somebody putting up, I missed it. It went by so quickly. That's why the Cash Apples really helped me to be able to find your comment, because it's there. You can text me through the Cash App. The link is in the description. and I will be showing them live on the air. And I see somebody talking about self-defense, and I think that there are a lot of people here who are ignorant of what actual self-defense is, and they think that a person being on your property is self-defense. We're going to listen to, we are at 1500 right now. So without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and jump in, and the people who come in late, they'll just have to rewind, right? And I see a lot of people making comparisons between white people and all of this other stuff. So we're going to talk about all of that as well. We're going to talk about all of that as well. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Okay. So let's get into, oops. I hate when that happens. I'm not feeling the best today. I am I'm not feeling very well today, but we're going to continue to push forward because the story is developing, and I felt that it was important for us to go over this today. All right. So in this video, it's Makaya's, the person who is saying that she's Makaya's sister, and she's very emotional. It's only audio, so I'm only going to have it up on the screen for a little bit, and then we're just going to listen to the audio, right? All right. We're at 1700. Continue coming in. Come in. Tag your friends, tag your family members, tag your loved ones if they want to hear this breaking story unfolding. And we're going to get into it right now. All right. We're at 1800 right now. So come on. We're just going to jump in, like I said. Come on, let's go.
Just lost my motherfucking sister, y'all on this bitch playing around, and all just lost my motherfucking sister, y'all on this bitch playing around, and all she had a knife, nigga, because she was trying to protect herself, nigga, from a grown-ass motherfucking woman, bitch. Is you dumb? My bitches on this bitch playing, and my baby gone, bitch. What you mean? How? The fuck? She at this bitch house. She's at her foster lady's house, bitch. It's her, Janaya, and Beautiful. The foster lady got the next grown-ass bitch that used to be her foster kid at the house. This bitch 30 years, 29 years old. Telling my sisters what to do, calling them bitches, bald-headed bitches, all this shit. Starting shit with them. My youngest sister called the police. She like, can y'all get over here, please? These girls is trying to fight us. We don't want to call my dad over here to get shit egged on. We don't want to get put the fuck up out of here. You feel me? Can y'all come over here, please? Boom. Nobody never comes. So they call my dad. My dad got to come out that bitch to come and pick my sister up. Mind y'all been fucking with my sister since the day before yesterday. Calling her all type of names, doing all that shit, man. My baby so motherfucking lovable, man. I'm telling y'all, nigga, she want her to fly. Nigga, she want her to fly. Nigga, this my lovable sister ever, nigga. She want her to fly. Nigga, she don't be on none of that shit. To know her, man. To know her, you a know. To know her, you a know. Y'all on this bitch playing like some shit cool when bitches at your motherfucking house. My baby's 16 years old. This bitch 28, 29 years old. You bringing other bitches over there trying to fight her. She didn't call the police. You're the same motherfuckers that's supposed to protect. What the fuck did y'all protect?
Very interesting. Oh my goodness. We'll probably have to play that again because there were some parts that we need to listen to again. You know what? I feel really sorry for us. Let me just say this, right? It's unfortunate that this young lady is dead. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that she lost her life that day. Listening to her sister describe what went on, right? And one of the things that we need to take in account, right, is that this is her rendition. There are some of you who are reiterating what it is that she says as fact. This is not fact. This is her rendition. One of the things that you did not hear, one of the things that you did not hear is that they threatened to kill Makaya. One of the things that you did not hear is that, so when you heard the sister talking, what did she say? She said these grown women allegedly came over to the house, these 29 and some other BITCHs as she's calling them, calling Makaya all types of bald head bees and telling her what to do. Okay. So she called you a bald head bee. I just, there are going to be so many people who are going to be angry at what it is that I'm expressing here, because there are many of us who want to be and stay and feel like victims. There are many of us who, no matter what, you know what, as a matter of fact, let me do this. Let's do this real quick. Let's do this. Let me show you all something. Let me show you something that happened that same day. That same day. So thank you to the young lady who sent this to me, right? I want you all to see this. I want you all to see this. This is also in Ohio. This is also in Ohio. Do you see this? Read the title. Read the title. Family devastated after 13-year-old stabbed former friend during fight dies. Happened in Ohio the same day, right? And Black people, we have got to get it together. I'm going to read this story for you all, because where is this person? Where is the outrage for the 13-year-old that died from, listen, picking up a knife? Listen, a knife is a murder weapon. When you pick up a knife and you go, now I wouldn't, by now, many of us have already seen the footage. When I originally saw it and we saw it slowed down, I thought Makaya was going to stab the young lady in the pink in the guts. No, she was aiming to stab her in the face or throat. The knife, she started with the knife down here and went up towards her jugular. Her sister is like, who did the cops save? The cops saved the young lady in pink. We don't know why the young lady was there. A person being on your property is not enough reason to kill them. Even if a person comes into your home in certain states, it's not a reason to kill them. A person could be lost. They could be having a night walk or whatever. A person just being on your lawn is not enough reason to try to kill them. I see a lot of you saying, oh, we should stand our ground. We're going to read the stand the ground rules, because a lot of you out there are going to try to get yourself set up, and you're setting up a lot of young people with false information so that they can think that they can go out there and be knife wielding. Listen, carrying open carry, listen, Ohio's an open carry state. It is not against the law to carry a gun in Ohio. When you pick up that gun and you are aiming it at a person, or you have a knife in close enough range to be able to stab a person, the police, if there's a police officer on the scene, it is their duty to stop loss of life. You are engaged in an activity that will cause mortal harm to another person. I'm confused. I'm confused as to how we're standing up here excusing, okay, she was 16, right? She was 16. Let me tell you all something right now. Makaya's life as she knew it ended the moment that she picked up that knife. Because we have prisons that are filled with people who have poor impulse control. By the time you pick up a knife and decide that you're going to stab it into a human body, you're already on a trajectory towards prison. You're already on a trajectory towards being an attempted murderer or a murderer. Makaya's life as we knew it that day because the issues that existed in her life, which had her in foster care, which had her father on the scene, kicking a young lady in the head. Her issues started long before that day. And it is too late for us to save Makaya. She's gone. Like I see some of you saying, she is a child. No, she is not a child anymore. She's gone. The only thing that we can do now is do what we need to do to save the children, the young people, us who are still here. And we're not going to talk about how many of our neighborhoods are terrorized by people making it unsafe, because Black lives to us really only matter when a white person takes it. I'm going to show you how I know that to be true, because we're going to read this story right here. We're going to listen to a father. We're going to listen to a father talk about how his child, look at the date that it happened. This was April 20, it was updated April 22nd. This happened, I believe, the same day that Makaya's situation happened. Let's play this. This is the child's father right there. Who is marching for this child who died? Who is marching for that child?
I held her. I watched her as she died. I watched her and held her. All I could do was just hold her and hold her.
Devastation, heartache, loss.
I tried. I tried to stop the bleeding.
So many feelings. Maurice Jackson can't escape, and none of us could, after the loss of a child. Cincinnati police say his 13-year-old daughter, Naira Givens, was stabbed to death by another 13-year-old girl last night during a fight near her home on Top Ridge Place. Tonight, prayers help ease the heartache, but barely.
Just try my best.
Come on, it's internet issues. Internet, come on now, bring it. Well, you know what? Until it plays, let's continue. We can continue talking until it plays, because I don't know why it has stopped, right? Where's the hashtag for this 13-year-old young lady? We don't care. It's like if the police had not come on the scenes and Makaya had stabbed that other person in the neck and throat and she would have died, we would have been like, oh, well, another day in the ghetto. They said that that they were calling the police. It was alleged that they called the police several times and the police didn't come. So we just would like, okay. The police, like, I'm confused. Do we want the police to come and help us or not? Do we want the police to just not show up or not? It's like I'm confused because the police came on the scenes. That man saved a person's life that day because Makaya was getting ready to stab her in the throat. And I understand people are like, oh, she was so loving. She was this, she was that. Look at the footage. There was no fighting going on when the police. And from what it is that I'm hearing, that wasn't the first police officer on the scene. The police were there and they were waiting for the rest of the squad cars or whatever. And people were standing around. They were standing around. And then when the police came up, she jumped out like a ninja turtle with the knife and running around and wielding and all of this. And the police officer says, like, get down, get down. And before she could deliver that fatal blow, she was shot. So how many people know what's her name? A family is broken after a 13-year-old girl was stabbed to death in Winston Hill. The teen's father said the pain is immeasurable and describes her as the glue that held them together. I believe his name was Maurice Jackson. Where's the girl's name? It's starting again here.
Be the father that I could be, you know. I guess I didn't pay attention to all the other stuff that was going on around her.
Maurice says his daughter was the second oldest of 7 children. He says she helped keep the family together and loved school. Maurice says she was a freshman at Aiken High and went to school with the girl who stabbed her. He says they were on and off friends, but his daughter was being bullied. The leaders called the scene tragic.
Learn how to solve problems one towards another, because just because you're mad at somebody doesn't mean that their life has to be taken because of that.
A 13-year-old's life stolen this time and a family broken.
Just the pain I'm feeling right now, it's unexplainable. It's very unexplainable. She should be burying me. I should be burying her.
Now, Naira's father tells us that she was smart, mature, wanted to be a hairstylist. He tells me she wanted to bring beauty to the world. We're live at Children's Hospital.
All right, Nairi. How many of us know Nairi's name, who was killed by another Black girl? Who knows her name? Where's the hashtag? Where's the marching? Where is the initiative to stop the inner city violence? Where is that initiative? I want to know. Because if the police did not show up on the scenes, people are saying he could have tased her, right? He could have. He could have. From what it is that we are hearing about police duty, or the duty that the police have, if they see a person engaged in an activity to take another person's life, they have the duty to what is it called? To enact, what is it? Fatal, mortal something. They have the right to take that person's life. People are saying, I see some people in the comments who are like, oh, no one's asking why grown women were on the property to fight her. Please show us evidence. Show us evidence that those people were on the property to fight her. Besides somebody claiming it, where's the evidence that the people that she decided that when the police came up to stab, that they were there to fight her? Where's the evidence of that? Are you asking yourself this? Where is the evidence that anybody was harming Makaya? Now people are trying to claim, oh, Makaya was autistic. Oh, he was this. There are violent autistic people. Yeah, there are autistic people who kill other people. Yeah, there are all different. And listen, who has her medical diagnosis out here? It's like we create these narratives, and we listen to the hearsay, and we run with a story. Besides this girl saying the age, what is the name of the person in pink? How do we know that she's 29? How do we know that she's 30? What's her name? What proof do we have that anybody was there to harm her? What proof do we have that people weren't just, selling Girl Scout cookies and were on the lawn and then a person came out with a knife? What proof do we have of any of this? The story is still developing, and we are so hell-bent on finding a way, any way possible, that we can make this young lady who was behaving as an assailant right. It is unfortunate that she is dead. However, let me tell you something, right? Let me tell you something. If you want to make it out of the ghetto, if you want to get onto the other side of things, you have got to know how to have control of yourself. You've got to know. Let's read the Ohio Stand Your Ground laws. Let's read that. Let's read. And you know what? Let's read some of these Cash Apps first, because I hear that there's a lot of them coming in. So let's read those first. Let's read that. Let's read them first. Give me 1 second. I know there's a lot of people who are upset with me, and that is okay. I'm okay with you being upset with me, because one of the things that we do is we force vloggers to pander to us and tell us what we want to hear. We force vloggers, like Derek Jackson was an amazing resource for what a BAN does, how a cheating ass man gets away with it. But we allowed him to sit up here and talk nonsense in our ear because it tickled our eardrum. And we just heard those flowery words. I'm not here to tell you flowery words. I'm here to talk to you about self-love. When you love yourself, and self-love starts at any age. Self-love starts at 8. She was in an unfortunate situation where she was in foster care. She had adults around her who were not instilling advice and lessons into her to help her be able to get onto the other side of her situation. And we have other people who are continuing to perpetuate this. Do not pick up knives. Do not pick up guns. And if you do, does anybody think that it's strange that she was the only person there with a knife. When she went to go stab the person in the pink didn't have a knife. You went to go stab an unarmed person who was not actively choking, kneeling on your neck, uh, cinching off your windpipe. Her life was not in mortal danger, and the police were on the scenes. Oh my gosh. Oh, let me read some of these cash apps. I'm sorry. I don't understand what we're doing. I honestly don't. I don't understand what we as the adults, the elders in the community are doing. How do we stop this? If we continue to perpetuate it with our turning a blind eye. LaShandra sends $25 and says, for the extraordinary content. Thanks. Well, thank you, LaShandra. I appreciate that because a lot of people are criticizing me for having this point of view. So I appreciate that. I appreciate it. We have Molly who sends $2 and says, showing support for the channel. Thank you, Molly. Thank you. And then we have Paula. We have Paula who sends $10 and says, I'm in quarantine. I'm grateful for you, Queen. Thank you. I'm grateful for you because you all are the sponsors. You all are the ones that keep the channel going. When other people are telling me to shut up and be quiet and don't say this and don't say that, those are the people who constrict vloggers. Like you look around and vloggers are too afraid. They're too afraid to talk. They're too afraid to reason and to rationale. Coco sends 111 and says, why the family didn't have custody if they cared. Listen, there's a lot of questions. That's a good one right there. She was so sweet. She was an honor roll student. She was this, she was that. But she also had a knife and was trying to stab a person in front of the police. Connie sends $10 and says, much love to you, beautiful queen, truth teller. Thank you. I'm surprised because there were a lot of people who were coming out hard. Tonya let them down with my commentary on this situation. Yaisha sends $5 and says, praying for all the grieving families. Love y'all. Absolutely. Absolutely. Brenda sends $5 and says, I hate that a child is dead, but he did his job. You know what? Thank you. What would the situation have been like if she was allowed to stab that woman? She would have been in prison. There would have been another person who would have possibly been dead. This girl's life, what was her life going to look like after she had stabbed this young lady? Where was she going? What if the young lady had died? What if she didn't die? It's like this becomes a vicious cycle. What we have got to do is we have got to stop fighting in our communities. I've told you, I'm from the Bronx. I'm from the ghetto. I used to fight growing up. I used to fight. And I know that there is no end to it because if you win one day, then they come back another day. If you lose, then they feel that they can come back again. There is no winning when it comes to that. But where is our outrage for stopping the violence in the ghetto? Why do we not know about Makari or whatever the 13-year-old girl? Why do we not know about her? It's like we wanted the girl and the woman or the young lady, whoever she may be, it's like we wanted her to be stabbed. We didn't want to do whatever it is that we needed to do to stop a person who was getting ready to stab a person. And listen, yes, he could have had his taser out. He could have. Keisha sent $6 and says the officer was justified. She was a threat. I see people are dancing to a different tune today. She sends another $6 and says, 2 could have died instead of 1. He saved 1. Listen, I hear you. Dominique sends $5 and says, even my 16-year-old son knew what she did was wrong. And then she comes back and says, what the cop did had to be done. Hashtag accountability. Listen, I feel you. It's like we're excusing this behavior based on a narrative. Oh, gosh. Angelica sends 888 and says, here to support the show. Let's love ourselves. Absolutely. And you know what? In between the Cash Apps, we're going to read, I'm going to come back to the Cash Apps and we're going to read each one of them before we're off air. Don't worry. we're going to look at the stand your ground law in Ohio, because you all are like, she doesn't have the right to protect herself. She doesn't have the right to protect her life. Ohio stand your ground law. Let's take a look and read this, right? All right. So the Ohio stand your ground law basically really talks about guns, right? It says the measure expands the so-called stand your ground right from an individual's house and car to any place. If that person is in a place in which the person lawfully has a right to be, the new law can be explained like this. In the past, if someone shot in self-defense, the burden was on the shooter to prove that's why they did it. With a stand your ground, let me make this larger for you all. With a stand your ground law, the burden shifts to the prosecutor to prove the shooting was not justified. In addition to making the prosecutors prove a claim of self-defense may not be justified, the measure would also eliminate the calls for gun owners with concealed carry permits to try to retreat from the threat before opening fire. Right. So let's jump down to where we get to the nitty gritty, right? Where it says that, okay, the new stand your ground law does not mean someone can shoot first and ask questions later. That's not what that means at all. When we talk about whether or not this girl was defending herself, right? It says you have to first not have started the situation, not have escalated the situation, and secondly, you have to be in immediate fear of death or serious bodily harm and have no other option except for deadly force to survive that situation. Black adults, what are we doing? No one was hitting her. No one was on top of her. No one was impeding her. No one was strangling her. She came out from behind. The police officers were right in front of her. The police cars, there were more than one car because an officer came from this way. There were officers back there, and there was a third car. When have you all ever seen one car show up on the scene? There were multiple cars on the scene, multiple officers. It was the shooting officer's cam that we saw, but there were officers all around. She came from behind when no one was hitting her, and she decided that she was going to start stabbing. Yes, that young lady was failed long before that day. But how much longer are we going to allow our neighborhoods to be terrorized and be unsafe? It's like you all don't care about Black lives. You don't. Do you all care about that 13-year-old girl that was stabbed? Is anybody out there protesting? Is anybody out there creating some sort of initiative inside of those neighborhoods? It's like we're real good to be standing up out here protesting. Oh, the police killed one of us. But many of our neighborhoods are made unsafe. Many of our neighborhoods are unlivable. I want to do a video about the young lady from Black Lives Matter moving into $1 million home and white people criticizing her, white people from the right criticizing her for living in $1 million home in a safe neighborhood. I mean, we know what happened to Master P when he tried to keep it real living in the ghetto, and they bust up into his house, held his wife and children up at gunpoint and robbed him down to the socks. Took everything because he was over there trying to keep it real, live in a Black neighborhood. He don't want to leave his people. Many of our neighborhoods are unlivable. What are we doing to stop that? God, this is so frustrating. I'm going to read some more of these Cash Apps. I'm going to read some more of them. Listen, I don't get it. I need somebody to help me understand what I'm not seeing. What am I not seeing? Okay, he could have used the taser. All right. Okay, he could have used the taser. His gun was already out. He apparently the call had been made that there was already a threat on people's lives there. This is not play. You know how that comedian with the little Keisha doll says, this is not for play. Picking up a knife is not play. You take your life into another realm when you pick up a knife and go to plunge it into another human being's body. You go into that. That's not a joke. That's not child's play. That's not TikTok video and no. That's not I'm staying out past curfew. I hate you, mom. That's not that. That is criminal behavior. That is engaging in behavior that could be attempted murder. This is not some I want to wear the cutoff shorts and I'm 16 and you won't let me be free. No, this is engaging in activity that has the potential to not only ruin your life, but take somebody else's. Her life as she knew it was over from the time that she picked up that knife and decided that she was going to plunge it into someone. And many of you are sending me videos of other people who had knives. Listen, a person coming at a police officer with a knife is a lot different than being on a person, holding them down and getting ready to stab into their throat. That's a lot different. A police officer has different options if you're coming at them with a knife. That's a different story. If you're standing around walking with a gun, and the gun, you're just holding it in an open carry state, that's not illegal. When you pick up that gun and you start aiming it at another person and they believe that you're going to shoot someone, shoot to kill, that's a different story. They have a right at that point to take you down. And many of you are talking about, oh, well, Trayvon Martin, then Zimmerman had the right to kill. Show us video footage that Trayvon Martin attacked anyone. We don't know what happened there. There's no eyewitnesses. There's no video footage. People are trying to claim similarities with the George Floyd situation. We saw video footage of Floyd being snuffed out as he said, I could not breathe. Show us the video footage of the people on her property attacking her. Show me any footage of Makaya getting hit that day. Show me any footage of her being strangled, because the only footage I've seen is of her father boot kicking a girl in the head and Makaya trying to stab people. Where is the footage of anybody hurting her? It's like we're listening to hearsay. We hear her sister. I'll play that video again for us. Right, let me read some more of the Cash Apps and see some of these Cash Apples. Let's get a word from our sponsor. From our sponsors, the Cash App people who sponsor this show. All right. We got Keisha who sends $6 and says, I pictured my child in the pink. Enough said. That's deep right there. That's deep. That's deep. Antoinette sends $1 and says, Tonya, that cop was reckless, shooting 4 to 5 times. Okay. All right. Okay. Morgan says $5 and says, I'm praying for my people. These are babies. Absolutely. Absolutely. And unfortunately, some of these babies are not going to come back. They're not coming back from some of the trauma that they've seen. They're not coming back from it. Antoinette sends $1 and says, could have killed that other one too. And you know what? And that cop was an excellent shot because he took down the assailant and nobody else was harmed. The person who was wielding the knife and attempting to kill someone was the only person harmed. That cop was an excellent shot. He was. Now, maybe there may be an opportunity to give additional training so that tasers are used. Maybe cops don't even need guns in the United States. Maybe cops don't even need guns. I saw footage today. I want to do a video about this guy who wanted to beat a Black woman up inside of a restaurant for not making his sandwich the right way. And the way that he lifted up his pants and was aggressing upon her, I would have loved for him to have been taken down. Allah sends $5 and says, it's truly tragic, but I love you speaking truth. Thank you, Allah. I think maybe only the people sending Cash Apples are the ones who agree with me. I think the people in the comments are having a different experience. Thomas sends $15 and says, our community will continue the cycle of dysfunction. Absolutely. Dominique sends $1 and says she was trying to stab the girl that fell. Exactly. She was trying to stab the girl on the ground. Nobody was harming. Show me video footage of somebody harming Makaya. Nobody was harming her according to the footage that I've seen. No one. She was the one who was the aggressor. It goes from self-defense into offense when you are the one aggressing upon people. If you are that frightened, wait for the police. And listen, what was the worst that would have happened to her? Her father was there. There were women there. Why did she need a knife? There were girls or women there. Her father was there. Who no one was going to beat her up in front of her father. No one was going to take her life in front of her father if they didn't have weapons. Nobody, it seemed like nobody else had a weapon. What made Makaya feel that it was appropriate for her to bring a knife out and attempt to start stabbing people? Simply because you're afraid? Listen, I get afraid at concerts. There's a lot of people around. I get afraid. Is that a good reason for me to just take a knife out and just stop stabbing anybody near me? Just because you're afraid does not mean that you have the right to take someone's life. Somebody coming to your house and calling you a bald head hoe does not mean that you get the right to kill them. Antoinette sends $1 and says there are marches for people in dying in the hood. Listen, I don't see any. Wesner sends 1112 and says, we must love each other more than we hate the cops. Absolutely. There's that part. What about that? Mia sends $5 and says, exactly, I kept quiet. And you know what? And that's the thing. People want us to be quiet. People want me to stop talking because it makes them feel uncomfortable. Alante sends $2 and says, it's sad a Black girl was murdered to save another. That is sad. That is sad. And you know one thing that I want to point out? The cop didn't shoot the Black man for kicking the girl in the head. He didn't shoot him. So it's not like he was there shooting people, engaging in physical contact. He shot the person who had a deadly weapon getting ready to stab it into another person's throat. And if you saw how fast, that cop was quick. And if it was you on the receiving end of a knife, you would have been happy for his quickness too. Ashley sends $1 and says, keep dropping gems. You speaking the real. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I hear you. Thank you. Alante sends $2 and says the other Black women were protected. You know what I'm saying? He saved the Black woman's life that day. I don't know if she was an aggressor. She's young. 29 is young. She has an opportunity to change her life around. If she was there to try to fist fight a 16-year-old girl, and we don't know that to be true because there's nobody here that can verify that she was there to fight her. There's nobody here that can verify. She could have been a DoorDash person. Who knows? I mean, it could have been anything. She could have been there to water the plants. But her life was saved that day, and she has the opportunity to change her life around if she was there to fight. I mean, if we're going to be making up scenarios, we can make up anything, right? All I know is that the police came onto the scenes and saw a person with a knife getting ready to kill someone, and he stopped them. Jessica sends $5 and says, what about Makaya's pain? He could have tackled her. Tackle who? Tackle who? A person getting ready? Yes. You know what? It's like you all wanted the Black woman to be stabbed or the Black girl to be stabbed. You all wanted her to be stabbed. You all wanted her to be stabbed. That's the only thing that I can think of because you all don't care whether or not she was about to be stabbed. You all don't care because you've made it up in your mind that you're going to have sympathy for one person and no sympathy for the other. Without even being rational about it. This is how we water down our situation and water down our cases by going out there and showing ourselves to be ridiculous and irrational. He could have tackled her. Yeah, she could have also not had a knife. It's like we want, God darn, we want people to continuously to continue to risk their lives coming into our neighborhoods to stop us from killing each other. So now we wanted the officer to now tackle a person who was seconds away. He wasn't up on her. There was a lot of things that could have been done, starting with her not having the damn knife. There's that. We need to stop this mess. What about Makaya's pain? Show us that Makaya was in pain. What pain was Makaya in? Show us where Makaya was being hurt, because all I have seen is Makaya trying to hurt other people. Let's look at what it is that we are seeing, not this made up fairy tale that she was some angelic person. She was a knife wielding person who attempted to kill someone. Whether or not she had cute TikTok videos and all of that is another story. Oh my goodness. Antoinette sends $1 and says, I'm not saying she should have knife. Let me see. I still love you even though we disagree. Okay, I still love you too. This is not personal between us. This is about you surviving. This is about young people surviving, because there are going to be young people out there who are going to be looking, and we are training them up to think that it is okay for them to behave any type of way, and we're going to march and but what about the 13-year-old who was killed in Ohio? Why don't we care? Why don't we know her name? Why aren't we doing anything about that? Dana sends $10 and says, supporting your channel. Thank you, Dana. Kelly sends $1 and says, you're speaking facts. I can't believe all the excuses. I don't understand what's going on either. Bai sends $10 and says, you are not alone, Tonya. Thank you. Thank you. I just read that. Bronte sends $1 and says, death should have dropped the knife when the cops. I don't understand that sentence. She could have dropped the knife when the cops were on the scenes. She decided that she wanted to be a killer that day in front of the cops. Desiree sends $1 and says, what did the sister say happened? Just tuning in. I played it in the beginning. I'll play it again. Don't worry. Don't worry. Mary sends $5 and says, people are emotional instead of rational thinking. Something is going on. Alante says, we cry Black women aren't protected. Right, and that cop protected a Black woman. For now, people are mad that 2 were protected. Listen, I don't even understand myself. I don't get it. That cop saved a life that day. Why don't we care about that life that he saved? London says 15 and says, you're not defending yourself if you're not actively being attacked. Let me try to zoom in on this for you. Oh, I can't even zoom in. How is the defense? It's offense at that point. Why is it that we're not getting that? Why is it that we're not getting that she was participating in offense? Thomas sends $5 and says, and where is Brawny? He's from Ohio regarding 13-year-old. Listen, where are all of these people? Deidre sends $5 and says, keep telling the truth, Tonya. Thank you. Thank you. Latrice sends $1 and says, my foster parents abused me. I don't trust anyone. And you know what? After this case, I'm not trusting the word of people either. Chigozie says, I support your stance on this topic. She sends $10. Thank you, Chigozie. I appreciate that. Deidre sends $4.25 and says, Agons refuse to hold other, oh goodness. Again, I guess aggressive N-words refuse to hold other aggressive N-words accountable. You know what? I don't know. Maybe it's that people, maybe as many of you have gone out there and stabbed people and you were happy for the second chance that you got. But please don't instruct these youth to go out there stabbing people. And so Kayana is sending $2 and says, I disagree with you, Tonya. The officer didn't announce himself like he was supposed to. You know what? I don't know if I should just wish that officers just stop coming. Let them just stop coming. I don't know what else to say. It's only on TV. Only on TV that you see. Stop! Stop it! You that's only on TV. You only see certain. Put your hands up. You only see that on TV. That's not real life. That's talk to real police officers. That's not real life. And if listen, the sirens of the police cars coming up, That's the announcement right there. Jay sends $10 and says, discussing the internal facts and issues. Thank you, Jay. That was $10. Latrice sends 5 and says, foster kids can't protect themselves. Cops don't care. Well, that cop cared that day, and he protected one person from dying after he saw her try to stab a person on the ground. It's like, are you trying to stop a threat, or are you trying to be one? Lisa sends $5 and says, many Black people are in a cycle of learned helplessness. I believe that. I honestly believe that. And we need to end this vicious cycle. Noreen sends $3 and says, it seems we are turning on each other. Please stop. We're turning on each other, or people have turned on each other inside of these ghettos. I know you're not telling me to stop. Kayana says, he didn't say police. So just because we can see what? Him visibly doesn't mean she could. Well, you know what? Her father was there. Her father was there. And her father was kicking girls in the head. We're not going to talk about that? Her father was there. She did not need a knife. She didn't need a knife. Her father was there. Even if she didn't see the police officers, which I'm pretty sure she did. I'm pretty sure they heard the sirens. I'm pretty sure, right? I don't get it. But if you all, this is the narrative that you all want. Jana sends $2 and says, thought I was alone and critical thinking, love, thank you, IA. Listen, I'm confused. Kayana says, she was fighting. It's a blur when you're fighting. And you know what? I'm so glad that you've come out because, like I said, I grew up fighting as well. There are 2 places that people go in this life, right? If you want to escape the ghetto, right? The people who know how to control themselves and the people who don't. There are different types of people in this world. And you have a greater chance and likelihood of being able to get out of the ghetto if you know how to control yourself. There was no active fight going on. Everybody was just standing around. Go look at the footage. There was no active fight. Show me where the active fight was. I can't show the video in this because it'll be demonetized, but there was no active fight going on. Everybody was just standing around. It's when she came out with the knife, then in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle style. Then the father came and started kicking girls in the head, but she set this all off. Like, okay, if you are the type of person who gets into such a rage that you attempt to start killing people when you're upset, there's a place for people like you. 2 places. She ended up in one of them. I'm sorry. Kayana sends $2 and says, so since he didn't announce himself, okay. Those sirens announced, his uniform announced, the car pulling up announced. And if that was not enough for her, if she was in a blind rage like that, well, she's in a better place now. May her soul rest in peace. May her soul rest in peace. Shem sends $10 and says, yes, we need accountability. Stop the blame game. We need to do something. Kayana sends another $2 and says, who's to say she knew the police was there to help? Well, they're either going to help you or help the people you're attacking. So they were there to help somebody, and they stopped someone from dying that day. So they helped her. Keisha sends $1 and says her life could have been saved had she let the PD do their job. Precisely. You got to love your life more than you love wanting to kill someone. Alante sends $2 and says, what about the man who kicked a girl? We spoke about that. What about him as well? Exactly. Robin sends $1 and says, did she deserve to be shot 4 times? Well, he took down the threat. It took 4 bullets. By the 4th bullet, she was on the ground. He didn't continue to riddle her body with bullets. He stopped the threat. He stopped a person who was in imminent bodily harm. And he did it with 4 bullets. Unfortunately, listen, just don't participate in behavior that makes you look like an assailant. Antoinette sends $1 and says, why didn't the closer PO disarm her? With what? You think that this is a karate film? And people come up there like, hey, yeah, chop, and hit people over their head, or people stand up there and be like, you killed my mother, And now this knife is going to go into the one place, and then someone could come up and like boop over their head. This is not TV. This is real life. And he stopped a person who was moving very quickly and trying to stab people. Bai sends $10 and says, for speaking Nayara's name. Thank you, Bai. I appreciate that. I mean, because why? It's like we don't care. We really don't care about the violence in the ghetto. If we really did, we would do something about that. We only care when a white person kills one of us because we wanted the girl in the pink to be stabbed. Apparently, we didn't care about her life because we've made it up in our mind that she's 29 and that she may have been there calling people a bald head bee and that she deserved to be stabbed because of that, and nobody should have stopped, or they should have done less effective ways of stopping her. Attempting to, what would have happened if the police officer attempted to tackle her, and from him tackling her, the knife then was just stabbed into the girl? Then people would be like, the police officer jumped on her, causing the knife to plunge into. He stood back, he shot, the threat stopped as well. LaToya sends $20 and says the dad had the nerve to be shocked, and he was kicking too. Exactly. And if you all saw the end of the footage, he was like, well, she's a child. That's an effing child. You should have told your effing child to stay inside the house and get her behind down. Her father should have been the one to tackle the knife out of her hand so that he could potentially be stabbed. That's the person who should have tackled her. Her father should have been the one to be like, Makaya, that should have been him. Come jump on somebody. If she was in that much of a blind rage, she could have stabbed anybody. She could have stabbed the police. She could have been stabbing anyone. Oh, LaToya sends $5 and says, I love how you keep it real. Truth, sis. This is what I'm saying. You love it. I don't know if everybody else love it. All right. Julia sends $5 and says the father should have told his daughter to stop. The father should have said something, but he was too busy kicking people in the head. The father should have been the one to jump on Makai so that if the police officer was going to start shooting, it would have went into his back. There was a lot of, I mean, it's like we watch too many Hollywood movies and we think that people have bionic power to be like, oh, we've been watching too much Texas Ranger. Rakaya sends $5 and says, I think this situation was instigated by her family. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know what's going on or what happened because all we saw was a person run out and start trying to stab people. Coco sends 111 and says, keep your butt in the house, not street yard stores. Listen. Monica sends $1 and says, you are the problem. Here's $1 for your smoke. Oh my. I don't even know. I don't know if she's complimenting me or insulting me. Well, I'll take the $1. Thank you. Still sponsoring the show. I appreciate it. Gavaric sends $1 and says, what are you going to do with this money? What am I going to do? I'm going to buy me some Bitcoin and I'm going to go to Disney World. No, I use this is the money that I get paid for creating a show and then broadcasting. This is my money. These are my apples. What do you do with apples? You eat them. Shantae sends $1 and says, there's an extended footage. Search Yahoo article. Extended footage of what? I showed the extended footage yesterday. What do you think the extended footage is showing? Other than, but I can't show it inside this video. But you know what? I'll search for it. Ivy sends $1 and says, thank you for being the voice of reason. Thank you, Ivy. Jessica sends $5 and says, I absolutely care for all of them. Okay. All right. So let's talk about that 13-year-old girl. Why is a 13-year-old girl who was stabbed by another girl? It's like we're so used to killing one another that we're like, don't stop us from killing each other and don't kill us for killing other people. I mean, I don't get it. Mary sends $1 and says, where was the community to break up this fight? Yeah, where was the community for that? But I didn't see a fight. Who saw any fight that was not instigated by Makaya? Who saw any fight? Jessica says, I care about you too. Thank you, Jessica. I care about you as well. Keisha sends $6 and says, people are using emotion versus logic. Exactly. Joseph sends $1 and says, the girl in the pink was holding a teacup dog. Wait, was she holding a teacup dog? That does, you see what I'm saying? She came there with a little teacup dog. That I want anybody to show me the footage that anybody was harming Makaya. I just like, has anybody thought about that? Shavika sends $2 and says, we would complain if the cops stood by and let happen. Listen, we would complain if he did that. No matter what he did, we would complain. But I'm not about to be out here excusing the behavior of a person who aggressed upon another person and tried to stab them. Summer sends $1 and says, Black people, we have to do better. Thank you, Tonya. Yes, we do have to do better. Brenda sends $1 and says, finally, someone speaking the truth on this issue. Listen, I don't know why other people are afraid, but other people making excuses too. Shadina sends $5 and says, I thought BLM, but what about the lady in the pink? Exactly. I thought Black Lives Matter, but what about the lady in the pink? Exactly. I guess people wanted her to be stabbed. Shawnee sends $1 and says, open up the phone lines, please. I'm not going to open up the phone lines tonight. I'm really not in the mood. We've been on for an hour. I already told you I'm not feeling very well tonight. I have a tremendous headache. And so let me see how many more cash apples we have. Oh my. Okay. All right. So no, I'm not opening up the phone lines. So I'm going to read the rest of the cash apples, but this video is pretty much done. I will play the sister's audio for us again, and then I'll come back to the cash apples. Give me just 1 second. Let me just get this up on here.
Just lost my motherfucking sister, y'all on this bitch playing around, and all she had a knife, nigga, because she was trying to protect herself, nigga, from a grown-ass motherfucking woman, bitch.
I'm sorry, this is a lot. Who was she trying to protect herself from, honestly? Who was she trying to protect herself from? She was the assailant. She was trying to protect herself maybe from that little killer teacup dog. Is that who? Come on. Let's continue. I'm sorry.
Oh, damn! My bitch is on this bitch playing, and my baby gone, bitch. What you mean? How? The fuck? She at this bitch house. She's at her foster lady's house, bitch. It's her, Janaya, and Beautiful. The foster lady got the next grown-ass bitch that used to be her foster kid at the house. This bitch 30 years, 29 years old. Telling my sisters what to do, calling them bitches, bald-headed bitches, all this shit. Starting shit with them.
So you hear, this is the issue. That she claims a 29-year-old woman was over there calling Makaya bald head bitch and telling her what to do. Where's the mortal threat of life? Where? You don't get to kill somebody because they call you bald-headed. If that was the case, a lot of you who comment on my videos would be gone. Because you call me bald. You call me bald-headed. All right, let's continue.
My sister, my youngest sister, called the police. She like, can y'all get over here, please? These girls is trying to fight us. You know, we don't want to call my dad over here to get shit egged on. We don't want to get put the fuck up out of here.
All right. We don't want to call our dad over here to get stuff egged on. So you're going to call a grown man to the scene to egg stuff on? What the hell is happening? I guess because daddy was going to come over kicking women in the head while they're on the ground. It's like when a person is on the ground, they are not a threat to you. They're not, unless they're biting your ankles. Come on, let's continue.
You feel me? Can y'all come over here, please? Boom. Nobody never comes. So they call my dad. My dad got to come out there.
You know what? Somebody just commented. I just saw the comment. It went by too quickly. It went by too quickly. But somebody commented Makaya wasn't bald-headed, which is so true. I didn't even put the two and two together. She wasn't bald-headed. She had a head full of hair. So it's like we have to listen and separate fact from fiction. What's fact and what's fiction in this situation? A woman holding a teacup dog what threat is she to you? Well, who knows why she came over there? Did she come over there to talk some sense into well, why was she there? We don't know. The only person we saw being a threat was Makaya. Let's continue forward.
Bitch to come and pick my sister up. Mind y'all been fucking with my sister since the day before yesterday. Calling her all type of names, doing all that shit, man. My baby so motherfucking lovable, man. I'm telling y'all, nigga, she want her to fly. Nigga, she want her.
I'm trying to figure out. See, because she's telling the story, she's angry, she's cursing. But one thing she did not say, nobody said they was coming over there to kill her. Nobody had their hands around her throat. What she's saying is that they called her bald head and was starting junk with her. So you get to pick up a knife and start trying to stab them? Come on now. Come on, no. Come on. I need us to use our heads, and people are going to be angry at me because you don't want to hear what it is that I have to say. But use your head. Listen. Hear, look, see. What did you see? You know, when I was in hypnotherapy school, one of the exercises that we had to do was to actually only speak about what it is that we heard. We would hear a different scenario. We would hear people tell us stuff, and we would see things, and we could only speak on what it is that we know to be true from the information given. We couldn't say, oh, this must have happened, or oh, this was happening, or oh, somebody did this. No, we had to pay close attention and when we look at what it is that we know, what do we know? The police came on the scenes. Everyone was standing around. You all are saying that the girl in the pink was holding a little teacup dog, right? A person with a knife runs out from behind because everybody's calm and sitting and standing up. There's a man over there. Everyone is just standing up looking like they're talking. A person with a knife runs out and starts trying to stab a person who falls onto the ground. And then that same person who has the knife goes up to the person who is on the car, swings it back, and attempts to stab them in the neck. This is what we know. We don't know whether or not they were over there to have a fight. We don't know whether or not anybody called anybody bald head bees, or all we know is that a person came out with a knife attempting to stab another person. And one thing that I don't want to happen to you all is I don't want more information to come out and then many of you look foolish. Many of you look foolish because when more information comes out and then you see, oh, it wasn't exactly like how you thought it was. Let the person who you all are saying is 29 come out and say, listen, I'm 18 and I don't know what was going on. I was just, you know what I'm saying? It's like, stop running away with a narrative. Just look at what it is that you saw. And what it is that you saw was the same thing that I saw. Let's continue going forward.
Her to fly, nigga. This my lover boy sister Amber, nigga. She wanted her to fly, nigga. She don't be on none of that shit. To know her, man. To know her, you will know. To know her, you will know. Y'all on this bitch playing like some shit cool when bitches at your motherfucking house. My baby 16 years old. This bitch 28, 29 years old. You bringing other bitches over there trying to fight her. She didn't call the police. You're the same motherfuckers that's supposed to protect. What the fuck did y'all protect?
Well, they protected a person from getting killed. They protected a person from getting killed. They protected the person in pink from being stabbed mortally in her throat. Oh, goodness. All right, we'll go back to the Cash Apples and read those comments. All right. Taryn sends $1 and says, white cops don't bring that energy to their own. All right. So then let's stop participating in activity to have cops called. let's stop doing that then. If we know that's how it is, then what are we going to keep doing this same thing over and over, expecting a different result? Vanessa sends $25 and says, keep hitting the masses with common sense, please. Thank you. Thank you. Patrice sends $2 and says, very few with platforms speaking the truth. I really, I don't know what other people are saying out there, because this is, Octavia sends $25 and says, we need more discipline and structure at home. We need a lot more discipline and structure, period, in our neighborhoods, with ourselves. We need that. Alana sends $1 and says, you sound stupid as a MF queen. Right. So now you're calling me names, so that means I have the right to start trying to stab you? I mean, come on now. Come on. Talking about I sound stupid. Yeah. Okay. Brenda sends $5 and says, I stand beside you on this one. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you. It's like you all are living in some sort of fantasy world where you think that just because you think things are a way, tell me, what is it that you're seeing that I have not seen? Only speak on the facts. Tell me, what is it that you have seen? Tell me. I want to hear. What is it? I am willing to change my perspective. I'm not going to be hard and steadfast on a thing. Show me. Show me somebody who was jumping her. Show me somebody who was standing over Makaya with a knife. Show me someone who was pressing down her windpipe with their knee. Show me. If there was a person who was on top of Makaya, choking her out, and somebody hit the person over the head or stabbed the person in the back, that's a whole different story. Show me who was hurting Makaya that I sound stupid as an MF, please. Rakaya sends $1 and says, different views, but I still love you, queen. Thank you. I appreciate it. Melita sends $1 and says, it sucks all the adults there did nothing. Well, one adult was doing something. He was kicking girls in the head. Unbelievable. Lucretia sends $20 and say they were minors. Police are adults. Okay, so the police are supposed to come up and be like, you with the knife getting ready to stab. Show me your ID. How old are you? Freeze. Stop. Show me. Let me tackle you. Let me do something. Oh my goodness, how old? No, if they see a person with a knife, you look. Listen. We are expecting something unrealistic. Belladonna sends 222 and says, I agree with you. The cop did what he had to do. Listen, he could have tased, but let's not bank on that. Police come. Police are there to police. Monica sends $20. Thank you, Monica. The police are there to police. That's what they're there for. They're not, listen, let's limit our interactions with them. Let's do that. Kathy says, Black lives only matter when it involves white people. She sends $2. Thank you. Exactly. Because why are people not talking about the 13-year-old girl who was killed? It's like, we don't care. Lucretia sends $20 and says, oppressors are safe when we blame each other. I hear you. Michael sends $20 and says, her father should have stopped her. Sad, his fault. There were a lot of things that could have been done differently, but Papa was too busy over there kicking girls in the head. I mean, I wonder, how many other people has Makaya stabbed because her father apparently didn't think that it was a big deal that his daughter was trying to stab people? Even after the police shot her, he was like, that's a child with a knife. Let's educate our children to not try to kill people. How about if we do that? Nisha sends $2 and says, you're not a punk for not coming outside. Thank you. People are saying that the woman in pink had access to the house. Show us where she was and where she was in the house. Show us. Show us. Show us. Thomas sends $1 and says, these people with the coulda, woulda, shouldas. Exactly. Exactly. Keisha says, announce themselves for imminent danger. Child, listen, maybe it's a good thing. I mean, if that's how she was looking, getting ready to kill people, listen, Obviously, she thought it was feasible or all right to start stabbing folks. I don't get it. Lucretia sends $20 and says, from newborn female to adult, we will be blamed. Listen, it depends on the activity, and it depends on, I can't imagine that anybody is blaming a newborn, but there are people who will find, let's not become so skewed to one side that we do excuse really, really bad behavior because we want to kind of even things out. You don't help people that way. We're not being helped that way. We have Erica sends $5 and says, people want to protest everything. Thanks for being a voice of reason. Thank you, Erica. Thank you. Rashida sends $1 and says, when was the cop supposed to figure out who called? Listen, they say the 10-year-old girl called. Maybe. See, so this is the thing. There's a lot of misinformation. They said, according to the sister, the person who claims that's her sister, she says the 10-year-old called the cops, right? Maybe Makaya didn't want the cops on the scenes. Maybe she wanted to be able to stab with impunity. Precious sends $2 and says, for the fact is, he could have prevented a death. He made one. He made one. Okay. Rashida sends $1 and says, did she have a phone or a knife in her hand? We saw the footage. It was a knife. And she was trying to stab people. The knife was on the ground. Everyone knew it was a knife. The father said it was a knife. Everybody knew it was a knife. It was a knife. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Okay? Let's not do that. Takara sent $1 and says, I didn't hear sirens in the video. Not that I agreed today. No, I feel you. I feel you. Melita sends $1 and says, people are now saying vid is edited and knife was fake. This is what people are now trying to say. Okay. All right. Taryn sends $1 and says, what if the cop would have shot the other girl? He was an excellent shot and he didn't. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Taryn sends $1 and says, oh, that's the same thing. Lucretia says, how many popos could have helped? I don't know. I don't know. Lawanda sends $10 and says, every shooting is not protest worthy. I'm going to send some hands up to that one. Absolutely. It's not. And this one right here, I'm sitting out. I'm sitting this one out. I'm sorry. You all can protest. I'm not going to stop anybody, but I'm sitting this one out. I'm sorry. I will definitely participate in police reform to train police officers to go for tasers. However, I'm not going to sit here and no, I'm not. Tracy sends $10 and says, should have been in the house once she called the police. Apparently, she didn't call the police. They're saying the 10-year-old called the police, right? Nisha sends $3 and says her father should have jumped in front of that gun. Lord of mercy. Listen, a lot of things. It's like we think we're on TV. Kia sends $5 and says, Black people love violence. We pray to a violent God. Listen, that God of the Bible is a violent one, isn't it? Isn't it? Murdering and all types of stuff. So it starts with fish stinks from the head down, they say. MB sends $5 and says, was she mentally ill? These deaths are too much. Well, she knew well enough to pick up a knife and try to kill a person. Kishana sends $5 and says, imagine if the cop didn't arrive when he did. Yeah, the girl would have been stabbed. What would have happened? I mean, was this Makaya's first time? This is what I'm saying. She did this so wantonly. Tisha sends $1 and says, it's a lose-lose situation for the cops. Not fair. That's true. Denzel says, your truth offends some folks. Love you, Queen. Thank you. Thank you. Anitra sends $5 and says, the point of justification is not the problem. Listen, I feel you. I feel you. Shatoria sends $1. Thank you, my dear. Sean Yetta sends $1 and says, your lack of sympathy is very disheartening, Tonya. Who am I supposed to have the sympathy for? Who am I supposed to have the sympathy for? The young lady in the pink, the girl who got kicked in her head, who am I supposed to have the sympathy for? Let me find out. Listen, I've already said it's tragic that she lost her life. That's tragic. What more are you wanting from me besides saying that it's tragic? Your lack of sympathy for the 13-year-old in Ohio who was killed is disheartening. Your lack of sympathy for the people who are terrorized by knife-wielding, gun-toting, maniacal teens, tweens, and adults in the ghetto is disheartening. Your lack of sympathy. Unbelievable. Coco sends 111 and says, many mammies and nakers in the chat. It's real, TKO. Listen, I can only imagine, because if people are sending me money to insult me, I can only imagine what's going on in the chat. I can only imagine. Deetra says black on black crime is preferred, apparently, but black on black crime is a racist trope. Aisha sends $1 and says, once again, black men trying to escape blame. Well, I don't know. We're the black men trying to escape blame on this one. I mean, the father participated in his actions that day. Listen, a lot of people failed Makaya. A lot of people, including that same mother who's talking about she's an honor roll student. Takia sends $7 and says blacks need help, displaced anger, and no accountability. Absolutely. I'm telling you. I am telling you. Teresa sends $5 and says, Heffa, why is she worried about your money? Lord of mercy. I think it was a guy who actually asked that, honestly. A lot of people be worried about the money that we receive, but they don't worry about the money that Don Lemon or Chris Cuomo or Denzel or Beyonce, or no, they don't worry about those monies, but us vloggers who bring entertainment and content and spend our time creating content and being here and showing up and reporting stories, they don't want us to get paid because YouTube and other platforms have made it a sport to exploit us. Like, there are people who are getting plastic surgeries for some damn Instagram fame and they ain't getting paid not a damn dollar. Rashida sent $3 and says, and I love how you read the haters ever so eloquently. Thank you. I didn't even know I was reading anybody today. My head is hurting too much to holla. Serenity sends $1 and says, Tonya, shaking my head. I feel you, dear. I'm shaking mine too. David sends $3 and says, a billy club would be better, not killing her. Okay. Billy clubs have been outlawed, haven't they? Well, listen. Anything. I mean, listen, he was too far away. Maybe we should, you know what we should do? We should just disarm all of the police and then see. Then we'll be complaining about, then we'll be, okay, we should just disarm the police. Let them just have tasers like they do in other countries. But remember, we have police who have guns because citizens have guns. It's our Second Amendment right. So let the police not have guns and let the police not be quick with those guns and see what happens. L sends $2 and says, I guess it's stay on code, not speak the truth. Yeah, you know, that's how it is. Sheena sends $2 and says, father may have hyped her up to go outside. Lord have mercy. I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. Dominique sends $1 and says, I guess people forget about that little girl who stabbed, let me see, a 15-year-old Walmart and she died. They didn't even care about the 13-year-old the very same day who got stabbed and died. So no, they don't care about that. Mona Lisa sends $1 and says, you are 100% correct. Everything isn't a race issue. I'm sure race played a part in this. I'm sure race played a part in this. I'm sure race played a part in this. But part of the reason that race played a part is how we show up, how we regard violence, how we're okay with violence, how we're okay with hurting each other. Race played a part in this, I'm sure. I'm sure race played a part. And I'm sure race will continue to play a part when we continue to excuse the bad behavior. Meredith sends $10 and says, thank you for your transparency. Thank you, Meredith. Keisha sends $6 and says, people say she's a child. Kids can be murderers too. Absolutely. And she was attempting to be one that day. Shawnee sends 111 and says, we as a society failed Makaya. We sure did. We sure did. And her sister, you hear her sister, the way her sister sounds. Her sister's being failed as we speak. Mashawn sends $10 and says, from God Lives Matter. Well, I hear you. Vernon sends $1 and says, guy's face was blurred. Maybe it wasn't her dad. Yeah, I think they blurred his face because they probably thought he was a minor. But then when I saw the extended footage, he was standing up there saying, she's an effing child. She's an effing child. And I was like, okay. You should have been saying that when you Fame sends $1 and says the extended video showed Nakija was raging. Really? Really? Send me the footage. Go to TonyaTKO.com and click on contact and send me the extended footage that shows she was raging. Let's put that up. I'm not going to come back out tonight. Send me the footage and I'll do a video tomorrow because like I said, my head is throbbing right now. Nakia says Makaya was wrong and cops was wrong. Well, a lot of wrong people then. A lot of wrong people. Tam Tam sends $10 and says, for love, love. Let me send you 2 love, loves back. Thank you. Alicia sends $5 and says, her mother is on CNN right now. Is she? Oh, my Lord. My goodness. I don't even know what to say. Tony sends 1 penny for each of the narratives people are creating. So there's 100 different narratives. Thank you. Thank you for the $1. Thank you. And Nikika sends $1 and says, cop would not have killed her if she was white. Yeah, you know what? I thought a lot about that. And I want us to think, let me see if there's, I think that's the top of it. Okay, so we've got all those apples in. We got all the cash apples in. I'm so excited about that. Thank you all. I thought a lot about that. Would the cop have shot her if she was white? You know, the cop probably may not have shot her if she was white, right? And there are many of us who would have not wanted her to be shot if she was white as well, right? But part of the reason that we would not have wanted her to be shot is because many of us would not have cared about the white person that she was about to stab. So they'd be like, oh, well, she was going to stab her, you know, tase her, but this other person would have been dead, right? And so I think that we really need to take a deep, hard, cold look inside of ourselves and see, who do we really care about? Do we care about that person in the pink who was about to be stabbed? It's like we've come up with this narrative to justify by any means necessary how all of this wrongness occurred for her to have been shot, right? Any means necessary, we come up, oh, these were grown women. Oh, before we even knew the ages, we started coming up with all these scenarios. Oh, they were threatening her. Oh, show us the proof. Where was the threat? I'm going to wait for you all to send me that footage of her raging. I want to see that. And now that we finished with the apples, I'm going to read some of your comments here. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah is saying, open the phone lines out. We can talk about it tomorrow. I'm just not in the space. I have a migraine right now. I don't want, I see, because I'm not in the space emotionally, mentally to open up the phone lines and interact with people live right now, because I already know I'm a snap on somebody because my patience is very short because of this headache that I have. So I already know. And then you all will be like, Tonya, you're so rude. You snapped on people. But then I told you from the very beginning, I didn't want to go live. I told you that. I didn't even want to make this video, but I'm making this video because the story is continuing to unfold. You know, I'm sorry. And it's like, And somebody just said, here it is, Gavaric says, yeah, we can tell you ain't in the space mentally. No, I'm really not. Emotionally, psychologically, my head is throbbing on this side right here, right inside here. It's throbbing. I'm not feeling good. The light inside of my eyes is very bright. I want to get off of this video. We had a lot of cash apps. I wanted to make sure that I honored each person who sponsored the show by reading them, but I'm really ready to get off. And I think it's important for all of us to be able to assess how it is that we're feeling on the inside, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, and make decisions based on that, and be able to have control of ourselves based on how it is that we're feeling. Because I already know I get on the phone live with you while I'm snapping on somebody. I already know that. So I'm not going to do it to you. I'm not going to do it to me. I'm just going to wait till tomorrow. I'm going to get a good night's sleep tonight. And I'm going to come out tomorrow. I will open up the phone lines tomorrow. Make sure that your notifications are on. Make sure that you are willing to pay $22 a year to get a text notification for whenever I go live, because that is the new service that I'm going to give you all to be able to participate in the show and support the show. So let me see. Exactly. They've done plenty of times. It's clear they aren't quick to shoot. Blonde hair, blue eyes. If black attack, it's attack. If it's white, it's right. All right. Listen. Tamora says, no, Tonya, you're wrong. We don't bring up the black and white issue because we don't care. We bring it up because it proves there's a double standard in policing when black people. It's sad that you can't see that. Very sad. Well, I wonder what makes you feel that I don't see the double standard. I'm there is a double standard. Yes. There is a double standard in policing. I don't understand why you feel that I don't see that. That's strange. Tell me, what is it that I have said or indicated that makes you feel that I don't see that there's a double standard in policing? And while you are navigating in a black body, I beg you, with all that is good and pure on this earth, don't pick up a fucking knife and try to kill someone, especially in front of the damn police. What the fuck? I don't understand. It's like, what do you want me to tell you? You want me to tell 16-year-old black people it's okay to pick up a knife and start wielding it and be like, well, they're just going to tase me. No, motherfucker, you're going to get shot. You're going to get shot down to the ground. You will not be here on this earth anymore. If you don't know how to control yourself, you won't be here on this earth any longer. Especially if you don't know how to control yourself in front of the police, you're not going to make it. What do you want me to tell? It's like you are the one who's in denial about the double standard. I'm well aware. That's why I'm telling your black ass to stand down. And I'm telling other black people, stand down. Don't pick up a knife and start trying to wield it in front of the police. Don't do it. Oh my God, and I'm confused by your confusion. I'm confused by your confusion. What is going on? I'm confused. Evelyn says, there is a double standard. Oh, wait, Tanya's cursing. This is what I'm saying. And Gavaric is saying, you calling the baby a motherfucker? I'll call anybody a motherfucker. Listen, you ain't no baby when you got a knife in your hand trying to kill people. I'm sorry. At that point, you are an assailant. And this is as simple as that. Sit your black ass down. You don't have free reign to be out here wilding out, trying to kill people, especially in front of the police. Especially, I don't understand, what is it that you all don't understand? What is it that you all don't understand? I'm so confused. And Trip is saying, this is sad. Put yourself in her shoes. In whose shoes? The shoes of the person in pink who was about to get stabbed? The shoes of the person who was laying down on the ground as a grown man kicked her in her cranium? Or the shoes of a young lady who decided to pick up a knife and try to kill people? Whose shoes am I supposed to put myself in? And whose shoes are you putting yourself in? Oh, goodness. Victoria is like, I'm confused. You're right. I am. I am confused. I'm confused by how so many of you are confused. And Jadora says that's not what happened. She was acting in the moment and did not know the police were there. Show me proof that she didn't know the police were there. And we're talking about a 16-year-old girl who was defending herself against 5 girls who were trespassing on her property. You sound ignorant. You didn't even get the background on the subject before speaking on it. That's why people are confused. No, Jador, you're fucking confused. And if your black ass don't know, let me motherfucking tell you something right here and now. Right? You are not defending yourself when you are the aggressor. That's not fucking self-defense. That is aggression. That makes you the perpetrator. That makes you the assailant. When you go to try to kill somebody, that makes you the threat that is going to be taken down. You're fucking confused because you don't know what stand your ground actually means. I read it on this show. Rewind and go educate yourself. You're confused because you don't know. Listen, let me tell you, I have been in police stations where the police have attempted to try to arrest me. I fought when I was younger. I continued to fight even until I got into college. I'm from the Bronx. It is born and bred into me to be out there knuckling up. This is why they call me Tonya TKO. I used to fight in the streets. I have scars on me from fist fights. I do. And let me tell you something. You need to be in control of yourself. You cannot black out. You can't. You don't have that luxury of blacking out. You may black out, and that may be the last blackout that you have. The next black, you may be waking up to bright lights or fiery pits, whatever it is that you believe in. You go ahead and you start thinking that you could black out there with impunity. Go ahead. Think that you could go grab a knife and start trying to kill people and call it self-defense. That wasn't self-defense. She was the aggressor. Show me. You don't know what you're talking about. Show me where anybody attempted to harm her. Show me the footage where anyone attempted to harm Makaya. Show me. Show me. You don't know what you're talking about. You're confused. You're confused. You're uninformed and you're listening to a narrative because you want to hear somebody say you're a victim or she was a victim because you want the same latitude. You're not going to get the latitude. You're not going to get it. Don't expect it. We are in America where there are more guns than there are people. And we have people who are coming on the scenes who do not identify with you, and they are there to control the situation. Stop having people have to be called to our doggone neighborhoods. Now, this 13-year-old girl stabbed another 13-year-old girl the very same day in Ohio. There were no police on the scenes, right? But if they had shot the 13-year-old girl and saved the other 13-year-old girl's life, we'd be crying for the 13-year-old who was dead. But now, listen, that 13-year-old girl would have been taken into the pipeline, into the prison and the penitentiary. And what would her life have become at that point? It's like, we need to understand, right? And we need to understand this. All Black people are not the same, and all Black people don't have the same agenda. There's some Black people who are on a trajectory to wreak havoc. There's some Black people who could get out onto the other side of it. There are other people who are just going to become a statistic or a quote unquote hashtag now as we see it and have it, right? There's some Black people who are toting guns in the ghetto, toting knives. Listen, a friend of mine, his grandmother lives in Detroit or lived in Detroit, where a man came and beat up his 90-year-old grandmother, beat her up, and I believe her arm was broken. And the grandmother didn't want to call the police because she was like, it's the Black people in the neighborhood. And now this mother effer is able to go out there. Who beats up a 90-year-old grandmother? This is what I'm saying. There's so many people wreaking havoc in our neighborhoods, and we're not doing anything about it. We need to do something about the crime in our neighborhoods. We need to do something about this. Why is this of no concern to anyone here? God, it's like, how much longer? It's like, you all just don't freaking get it. You are surviving. You're not thriving. You're surviving in these areas. And we have people who are traumatized and they will harm you. They will beat up your grandmother. They will harm you. They will take your life. They will shoot, and your children will get shot, and all of this other stuff. And our neighborhoods are a damn mess from coast to coast in this country. And we need to realize that it is time that we start excavating these people, evicting them from our neighborhoods. We need to stop with this no snitching policy. This is why I wonder whether or not Makaya had killed anybody else or stabbed anybody else and was never caught. Because she picked up that knife so easily that day, and people are claiming that she was defending herself. That was not self-defense. It was offense at that point. Let's get back to, we got some more apples that have come in. And Nikki says, sounding a little Candace Owenish. That's what somebody else said on one of my channels. If you think that I sound like Candace Owens, then this isn't the channel for you. Go find whatever channel you were on that was blowing that smoke up your ass, that got you high on octane, and think that you have the latitude to go out there and start stabbing and killing people. Go back to that place, because this ain't the place for you over here, Nikki. This ain't the place, because I'm not going to make excuses for you, and your black ass could go out there trying to stab and kill people, and I won't make excuses for you either. So go back to the place where you can get some people to go create some hashtag for you if you decide to go out there and start trying to kill people that you claim make you feel a little uncomfortable, so you start killing them. Please. It's like some of you don't know what accountability looks like. Some of you don't know what self-love and self-preservation looks like. Loving yourself is calling the police on the problem mother effers in the neighborhood. That's what loving yourself looks like. Loving yourself is not allowing yourself to be terrorized by people that people claim was an honor roll student, a good this, that, and loving yourself is excavating those people from the neighborhood. Leotis sends $20 and says, I appreciate your realness and your knowledge. Thank you, Leotis. I appreciate that. Tashia sends $1 and says, I have slowed down the clip. She was chasing them. This is what I'm saying. We saw the footage, but people want to be in denial and you want to call me names. I'm not calling you names. I'm not calling you names. You know what? As a matter of fact, I'm going to start calling people names right now. I already told you all I wasn't in a damn mood. Let me start calling people names right now. Let me start calling people names, right? Now, I'm going to start looking for some people to start calling some names, because you want to call me names. I'm going to start calling you some names so you can see what it feels like. Come on. Let me find. Let me see. Let me see. Who, where? Okay, I don't see you. Come forward so that I can start calling you some names, because two could play at that game, because it's like the most sensitive people out there want to start calling other people names. I could start calling you. I could call you Mammy. That's what I could call you. I could call you a Captain Saver Mammy, so that you could be all there with your, but come on. It's like, come on. People want to act like I'm supposed to sit up here and be taking all of this damn abuse. Verbal abuse without giving some back. Equal and opposite reaction. Nobody had a knife up on that girl. Nobody else there had a knife. She brought a knife to a fist fight and got shot down. She brought a knife to a fist fight, and an officer brought a gun to a knife fight. And now that young lady is gone. She overplayed her hand. Let's go back to the apples. Tashia says, I've slowed it down the clip. She was chasing them. Precisely. But people don't want to acknowledge that. Patrick sends $5 and says, cops are trained to disarm someone with a knife. Cops are trained to try to disarm a person if the person with the knife is coming towards the cops. The cops or have a reasonable level of danger when they're entering into the situation. However, when that knife is being pointed towards another civilian and that person is about to kill that civilian, the police have the right to take that person down. Simple as that. So don't go out there thinking that you're going to be standing up there trying to stab somebody and somebody's going to be wrestling you down. Like, here you are with the knife and they're wrestling you back. And you're like, no, let me at him. No, that's not. Oh, my muscles are growing. My goodness. Okay. You're not going to be like, no. And you're like, let me at him. No, that's on TV. You're going to get yourself hurt. You're going to get yourself hurt. Lawanda sends $1 and says, how was she the victim if she was chasing the woman? Exactly. Why are people not wanting to pay attention to the fact that she chased one woman down, tried to stab her when she was on the ground, and then ran up to another woman who was holding a little teacup dog and tried to stab her? Dog fell on the ground and everything. Chiquita sends $5 and says, you are speaking the truth with real love, Queen. Thank you. I appreciate that, because people are trying to verbally abuse me in the comments because they think it's all right for them to try to verbally abuse me. Fame sends $1 and says, neighbor footage. I can't click it from here. I can't click links that you all send me via Cash App. Fabiola sends 111 and says, keep speaking. We need to hear this perspective. I'll look it up, though. I'll look it up. I'm not going to play it in this video, but we'll come back out tomorrow when I'm in a better headspace and I'm not cussing people out. And people over here like, Tonya, you are cursing, you're calling people. I already told you I wasn't in the space. You all want to provoke me. At least I don't have no knife thinking I'm gonna start trying to kill people. It's like people want to go out there and act reckless and still be living, breathing, telling stories. And then I stabbed her. Come on. Anytime that you pick up a knife towards a human being, it means that you want to take their life. And at that point, you've gone off the deep end. You've gone off the deep end. Stacy says, preach, sis. Adriana sends $10. Thank you, Audrey. Thank you. And Fabiola says, YouTube Columbus officials provide slow motion. I showed the slow motion yesterday. I showed the slow motion. Natasha sends $10 and says, girl, you have the patience of Job. Listen, I don't know about all of that because I don't remember Job cussing people out. But on that note, I'm going to get out of here, right? Let me get out of here. If you send cash apples after I get off live, I will read them afterwards, but they just won't be read on air because I won't be live, right? But I appreciate all of you coming out. I appreciate all of you coming out. Somebody is saying at her own home. And this is why I'm telling you, Black people, please educate yourself. You do not have the right to kill a person, even if they're inside your house. You don't have the right to kill a person. In some states, but you need to know the laws inside your states, but in most states, you don't have the right to kill anybody unless your life is unless the action that you take is the only action to take to stop you from being killed. And trust me, I know. Trust me, I know. Because we have been in situations where listen, I've told you, I've been at the precinct before, right? And I'm telling you, and I'm in New York. In New York, you do not have the ability to kill a person who is inside your home. And you don't have the ability to kill a person even if they're robbing your home. The only way that you have it, like you could see a person robbing, you do not have the ability to use mortal force, fatal force on a person who is taking things, tangible items. You don't have the right to take a person's life who is stealing from you. You all need to wake up and understand the law so that you're not sitting out there like, well, I shot a person because he had my TV. And you don't have the right to do that. You don't have the right to do that. In some states, if a person breaks into your home, you have the right to murder them by the mere essence of them being in your home, but you need to know which state you're in before you start going out there doing that, because you can end up your own self in damn jail. And then who's going to protect your family then? Who's going to protect your family when you're behind bars because of some foolishness that you didn't have to do? It's like a person's life is worth more than an insult to you. You don't get to kill a person because they insulted you. A person's life is worth more than a radio or a TV. You don't get to kill a person for goods. If a person's walking, they got you don't get the right, you don't have the right to kill them. Now, if they pull out a knife and they trying to hold on to your TV and they start trying to hurt you, that's a different story. But you don't have the right to take a life. You don't have that right. Nay says, so I hope multiple girls come to your home to jump your daughter, period. I hope they do come. Let them come. Let them come. We're not going to try to kill them. Let them come. We'll call the police. The police will take them away. It's as simple as that. It's like, what are you not getting? What are you not getting? Where's your mind at? I hope they come to yours too. And I hope that you learn from example that you have choices. You don't have to try to kill people because they're on your lawn. You don't have that right. You just don't. I don't understand what's not clicking for some of you Negroes. You don't have the right to kill a person because they're on your lawn or because they said some sort of threat. Call the police and let the police cart them away. File a police report and put it on the record that this person threatened you. Get yourself an order of protection. That way they cannot come back to your lawn. Case closed. Finito. Do things the right way. Go within the bounds of the law. Don't pick up no damn knife. Let them come. I am from the Bronx. You think that people have not threatened me before? You think that people have not come to my house? You think that people have not been outside being like, come out? You think that has not happened to me? Let me tell you something. It has, and I'm still here, right? Why? Because I let the law do what the law is there to do. We have got to let the system work. It's like we can't claim that the system doesn't work for us when we don't work the system. It's like, come on, I don't get it. It's like, I don't understand what we're not getting. Gilda says, why were they fighting in the first place? Show me footage of anybody fighting. There's no footage of that. Show us footage. We're running with a narrative that we heard online. Show the footage. Who was fighting besides the Makaya? Who was fighting? I don't get it. I don't get it. Who was fighting besides her? She's chasing people with a knife, trying to stab people, and we're making excuses for this behavior because people were on her lawn. Maybe they were there singing Christmas carols in the middle of March, or what was it, April? Maybe they were singing April shower carols. Maybe they had Girl Scout cookies with them and they wanted to sell some. You don't have a right to kill people for being on your lawn. It's like, come on. I don't get it. Talking about, I hope they show up. Let them show up. And you best for damn sure she ain't going outside. This is how we're going to be. Doop, doop, doop. Oh my God, please. There are some people who are very angry standing outside my house. They're threatening us and I'm so afraid. Please. I think I see one of them that has a knife. Come, please, quickly. That's exactly what I'm going to do. You think I'm going to be like, yeah, bitches. Where's mine? Come on, hoe. Let me kick you in your head and come on. Ain't none of that going to go down. I'm going to be like, 911, how can I help you? I'm like, oh my God, officers. Please send someone quickly. That's how I'm going to be. You think, well, come on. It's like, we need to stop this. This is why when that Black girl was defending that Muslim girl who's being beat up by the white girl, I said, no, get the teachers. Don't risk your life for this mess. Woman, come on now. You out here on my lawn. Die. Come on. I'm going to be the one out there with my big broad back pointed towards the police as I'm stabbing people. And the next thing you know, I'm being... No, that's not going to know. Come on now. What is wrong with some of you all? I don't understand. Stacy says she was a 16-year-old child. Maybe she did not know how to handle this situation, panicking, angry, scared. You are possessed with demons and you need deliverance. You angry, ugly kangaroo. So you think it's okay to call me names? All right. You tried me on the right day because I got a little time. Stacey Adams on Facebook. You better hide your fucking profile now, mother effer, because I'm coming for you. You gonna call somebody an ugly kangaroo? Let's take a look and see what your page looks like. Come on now. You wanna come on, you wanna romp? Come on, let's do this. Let me get to my page. Come on. Oh, unbelievable. Come on, let's find you. Let's find you. It's just like you all are so silly. You better log off, Stacey, and you better start hiding your photos because I'm coming for you right now. Because you want to try to be cute. Come on, let's get this party started. You want to try to be cute. Come on, let's get this done. Come on, let's do this. Stacey Adams with the Paquace logo on her thing. Come on, let's get this done. Come on now. You all telling me not to do it. All right. You all okay. You all right. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, all right. You lucky. You lucky. You lucky. You know what? You lucky. You lucky. You lucky. You lucky right now. You were saved. You were saved. you were saved. You're lucky. You're gonna be spared today. You're gonna be lucky because we was about to come to your page and you was about to get the business. But we're gonna go to these apples over here. We're gonna go get these apples. Okay. Oh, she's back. Oh, you want to talk now? All right. Well, you know what? I tried to spare you. Stacey, but you want to be cute, right? I tried to spare you. Oh my goodness. I'm trying, but here we go. Here we go. Let me turn the volume down on this. I tried to spare you, Stacey, but you want to be cute, right? You want to be cute. Here. I tried. I left it alone, right? I told her to go log off, but she want to be in grown women's face. Let me explain something to you. Here, let's get it. Let's get it. Yo, my goodness. You are lucky. You are lucky, Stacey. Stacey, I need you to comment now because the comments have gone by so quickly. I can't catch yours to find your profile. So comment again, please. I beg you. I'm begging you. Comment again, please. I need you to right now. They're saying the video is down on YouTube. It should not be. Let's make sure that the YouTube is connected. It says, listen, the YouTube feed is down. Stacey, where are you, girl? I need you to comment so that I could get your comment back over here because you've escaped narrowly. Okay. What is it saying on YouTube that is saying why it's down? Oh, she commented again. Thank you. That's all I needed. That's all I needed. Here we go. Oh, gosh. Come on. It goes so fast. I'm telling you, it's hard to catch these comments. Here. I'm gonna let me do an at. Her name was Stacey Adams, right? EY, Stacy. Dude, I can't catch it. I can't catch it. It's going so quickly. I can't catch it because there's a little bit of a delay. The gods were shining down on you today, Stacy. They were shining down on you. All right, let me check on my YouTube feed. I don't know why it's down on YouTube. It's it is what it is. Let me just it looks like it's let me see if all right. So I had to go try to reconnect it. And so I need somebody from YouTube to comment so that we can just make sure that we are back live, right? So we need to make sure that we are back live. And so yeah, so I jumped out real quick just to get the YouTube reconnected and go from there. Right? No. There is no there is no virtual world pull up. That's not how it goes down over here. We too smart over here for the nonsense. All right, so I need somebody from YouTube to comment so that we can make sure that we have the comment so that we have the feed reconnected with YouTube. So I'm looking for a YouTube comment so that we can make sure that the feed is reconnected. It looks like the feed is not connecting back with YouTube. So I don't know what is going on. Let's I'm going to go over to the YouTube page and see what type of error they're having on YouTube. Let's see your videos. All right, let's see. Sort by. Let's see. Let me go to my page, your channel. And so Gavaric is saying, "Guh, you ain't too smart for nonsense. You said a lot to get yourself banned, dummy. You don't even know what you're talking about. So you have gotten yourself blocked. You're done. You ain't too smart because you don't know how to speak English." All right. All right, there we go. Perfect. Perfect. So he's done. Anything else? Oh, Stacy's gone. It's okay. She got lucky today. She got lucky. But don't you worry. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I don't know what's going on with the YouTube. The YouTube is, let me go to my email and see what they're saying in the email is the issue with the video. Okay. It says that the video was removed because it violates our sex and nudity policy. And so I want to know where there was sex and nudity on the video. Okay, it says what you can do next, you can review and you can appeal here, right? So it says policy reason, nudity and sexual content So if this happens, your channel, it says appeal. It says appeal justification. Let me just say, there is no nudity or sexual content in video. Like, if you all are going to flag a video, flag the video for something real. There is no nudity or sexual content in video. False flag, comma, please correct. And let me just submit. Simple as that. See what I'm saying? It's as simple as that. All right, perfect. It's as simple as that. All right, here we go. So I have just submitted that appeal, right? And so we have, let's see. Yeah, so that's pretty much that. I'm going to read some more of the cash apples, and then we're going to go from there, right? Here we go. Give me one moment. I wish these comments didn't go by so quickly. They move so fast. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Here we have it. We got it. All right. So this is the person, Stacy's page, joined December 2009, and has one photo of some stock photography or something, right? So this is obviously a person who has a troll account, who's not brave enough to keep it real. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. This is how you know when somebody is faking the funk. Look, fakeness. This is a fake person this is just a fake troll account. Nothing real here. Nothing at all. Waste, gal, waste. User blocked, as simple as that. That was a letdown. Now on to the apples. All right, here we go. All right. So Itasha sends $5 and says, "We are cut from a different cloth, sister." Yeah. Thank you. There's a lot of people out there faking the funk. And then we have, that was Itasha. Then we have L sends $1 and says, "Your video was flagged and taken down." Yeah, I mean, people, they obviously had a tremendous issue with us speaking the truth. But at that point, we were already live for an hour and 45 minutes. So the bulk of everything that was said was already said. Itasha sent $1 and says, "Truth is a hard pill to swallow. Black people comply." Exactly. Khadijah sends $3 and says, "While YouTube cut your live stream, error message on screen." Yeah, somebody flagged it for nudity, and I guess YouTube has their policy. Natalie sends $2 and says, "Clearly you value your child by keeping her inside." Well, you know what? Some of these people, if they valued their child, she wouldn't have been in foster care in the first place. If they were doing what it is that they needed to do as parents, she wouldn't have been in foster care. Nina sends $1 and says, "YouTube remove your video for violating policy." Yeah, they did somebody flagged it for nudity. So I guess, goodness forbid, some nudity be on a live broadcast. And so they took it down, but they'll put it back up. Don't worry. Khadijah sends $3 and says, "I saw a white woman about to attack Black police. He laid her ass out." Listen, people need to learn their limitations. Karen says $1 and says, "People are upset because you speak the truth." Apparently. But you know what? You can't hide the truth. You can't stop the truth. The truth is the truth. You can't stop it. And so we have gotten all the apples. So thank you all for the apples. Let's see, what are we going to do? Alexis says YouTube is tweaking. Yeah, but that is how it is when you are in a realm. This is why I'm happy that you all are my sponsors, because I don't have to worry about, oh, now my video is off. I won't get paid. Thank you all for sponsoring my videos. Thank you all for coming out. And thank you all for showing the love and support that you have shown. We really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so Persia is saying, how do we know they didn't kick in her door? How do we know that they did? Show footage of anybody being aggressive towards Makaya. Show the footage. Show it. Where is the footage of anybody being aggressive towards Makaya? Where? It's like you can come up with all of these imagined scenarios to make yourself feel better, but the fact of the matter is based on what it is that we saw, everybody was just standing around peacefully until she came wielding the knife. Right? We got some more apples in. $5 and said, Julie says, "You just killed me. Big up yourself." Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And we have Brett that sends $20. Thank you, Brett. We appreciate that. And we got Katrina that sends $5 and says, "Let's talk anger management and emotion regulation." Yeah, we need to start teaching that to children so that they could be in control. And somebody is sending me money saying, "Thank you for blocking me." Look. Look, he sends $1, says, "Thank you for blocking me, begging ass." Thank you. Thank you for You're welcome. That means he's still watching. Still watching and sending money to have his comments read. How cute. How cute. Thank you. And Jadika sends $1 and says, "More people agree with you than you know, dear." Really? Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So listen, we've been on for more than 2 hours. I will see you all in the next video. I appreciate you all coming out. Right. And Kelly is saying all the police know is what they see when they roll up. All he knew was a woman was wielding a knife and was seconds away from killing someone. That's it. And he stopped that threat. Right. Thank you all so much for coming out. Right. Go out there and love one another. Most importantly, what? Love yourself. That's right. And part of loving yourself is knowing that you have a life outside of whatever exists right now and doing what it is that you need to do to get onto the other side of the life that you have left. Regardless of your age, you have to have a view of your future. You have to think about what it is that you want, because you're going to be the one who is going to make actions that you are going to be responsible for. And we cannot expect for people to look. You hit puberty and you get yourself into a woman's or man's size body, and people rolling up. We talked about this yesterday. They say never argue with a fool, because from a distance, people can't tell who is who. You go out there and you may have the mind of a child, but people cannot tell from looking at you. And if you are participating in actions that are a threat to people's lives, you may be dealt with in a way that may take your life. So be careful and protect your life for you. You've got to do what you need to do for your life. You've got to do what you need to do for your life. And Lucille is saying, Tonya, shut up. What I can do is I can help you shut up by blocking you. You don't come to other people's page telling them to shut up. If you don't want to hear a person, don't be on their page. Go someplace else. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Molly says, where's the 911 call? Exactly. Where is the 911 call? We'd like to hear that, because people tell so many lies. People tell so many lies. People tell so many lies, and before you know it, the story will be twisted and twirled again. People tell so many lies. So yeah, let's hear all of the information. And Tamora says, you are stereotyping Black Americans with what? What are we stereotyping them with? What are we stereotyping them with? Which part? Not to go outside, to protect your life and get onto the other side of it? That's stereotyping Black Americans? Please. Please. Mariana approves of the blocking of trolls. Mm-hmm. All right. So you all are saying there's a 40-minute video out there? Okay, we'll have to take a look at it. Yaisha is saying Inside Edition had the audio. All right. Hey, Jahaziel is in the house. The 911 call was terrible. It was played on the news. She gave no information and didn't say who she was. You know what? I need to hear that. Ja, can you send that to me? I need the link for that. I want to make sure that I have it. Jay says, love you, Tonya. Have a good night. Love you too, sweetie. You have a good night. All right. I will see you all in the next video. Tonya TKO, and I'm out. Like I said, if you send cash apples after this, I'll just get them when we're off air, and I'll see you all in the next video. Go out there and love one another. Most importantly, love yourself and do what you need to do to protect yourself. And do what you need to do to remember that your life is larger than whatever is happening right now. Get onto the other side of it. All right. Peace. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you hit the bell notification, but have no fears, because I am starting the service so that you will be able to get your text notifications when I do go live. And this is the Book of Affirmation Self-Love, available on Amazon right now. So the link is in the description below. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.